Here's one more quick bite for Tracy. I love this image. I love the light streaming down. We have these, I call these streaks of light, God light, and how it's reflecting on the water here. And one could say, yeah, this is complete and doesn't need any editing at all. But let's look at some possibilities anyway. Because of the color in here. How about, and there are lots of possibilities for how you might edit any image. You could do it 10 different ways, probably more. But just to take a look at what would happen if I enhanced the color a little bit and brought up the contrast in these streaks of light. This is perfect down here, maybe slightly darken this outer edge. So this is quick. So in terms of saturation, that means for any given hue, how pure is the hue or how diluted with white or black or both gray is it? So image, adjustment, saturation, hue saturation right here. The shortcut is Control U. And if you dial up the saturation to the right, notice what happens to the colors. You can overdo it and go crazy, and that's not so good. You can also use that same slider and create grayscale. So I'm going to just give it a little bit of slight tweak of color in here, perhaps like that, plus 40 or so. And in terms of the contrast in here, if I take the lasso again, and now this is another way to make a selection, and I lasso around this and feather this back, and then raise the contrast with levels, Control L, and bring this in, bring this in, bring this in. Now I'm getting way too much saturation. Yeah, I'm going to cancel this one. I mentioned before how when I was darkening a bright area, I didn't want to use levels because it also raises contrast but also raises saturation. Let's take this corner and darken it just ever so slightly. So I use the lasso, feather it back, hide it, Control H, and then use again image, adjustment, brightness, contrast, and darken that corner a little bit more, kind of to match the left side here. And I'm seeing a little excess blue now when I saturated that side, so I'm going to desaturate. So every time I make a selection, I feather it so it blends in. Control U is the shortcut, and desaturate here. Try to match the gray more or less. I can look at the history, and that's view, window, history. And when I pasted the image, it looked like this, and now it looks like this. It's a small, subtle change from here to here. I'm wondering if it's a little bit saturated on this side as well. Let's take a peek at this and over here. I can hold down Shift and add to a selection. Feather that out. Control H, Control U, and calm down the saturation on those edges just a little bit. Deselect. Okay, so now we've got from here to here. Small things, but it can make a big difference. So have fun.